They definitely had us in the first half. Not gonna lie. I know people assume it's always gonna end bad, and the logical side says it has to end bad if we're only halfway through, but as someone who doesn't know exactly what's going on in terms of the loot mechanics, I was curious if we succeeded here, would we kind of do like a re-zero point, like a new checkpoint or something, or is it always going to reset at the same point every time? And the first half, it felt like, yeah, there was struggle. Cop, he's up to no good again. Oh wait, he's actually wanting us to do this, but he has to follow the law, but definitely wants to bring this scumbag in. Shit, we won? Too good to be true. It has to be too good to be true, but it seems like it's working. And that thought process, and I knew walking into that building, something was going to happen, but I didn't see it coming all at the same time. The baseball bat to the head, when it initially happened, I was like, did she set our boy up after saying she wants him to be a big brother? But then you see her shocked reaction. She had no idea. This literally was the finishing line. We literally were reaching a point that never should have happened. As Rika said in this episode, Keiichi rolled a 6 on a dice that had 1s on every side. And to just see that bloodshed, and then to see him switch around, was like, oh shit, he won, and he didn't die. To me, what was gonna happen was my thought process, despite waking back up at that hospital, was that clearly the one who was cursed this year was the shitty uncle. The shitty uncle's dead, we're all good here. Yeah, our boy might be facing some criminal charges if he doesn't get his story straight, but that's where I was thinking. And the fact that they end it with a gun going off in a crowd and killing, I don't know how many, this hospital is cursed. And it's always the goddamn festival. Watch the dance. But if we watched the dance, everyone would have died, right? So it's like, that's my reaction. I don't have words for it. This was an incredible arc that I know is quite different and that at times quite similar to the one in the original, and everyone knows I haven't watched the original, so that's what's so fun is like literally I have no idea where anything's going, so I can only piece together what's happening alongside each episode. And to see something like this that had so much build-up, and this felt like, if this doesn't work, then what can? Because everything was going as smoothly as it probably could. Keiichi had the right mindset, he didn't go violent, everyone had the right mindset. I mean, the old hag herself, big fan of our boy now, going out of her way to make sure favors are pulled so that this girl gets her the help that she needs. Everything feels like it's right on track, and I love the idea of the cop in the episode because I really thought he was a scumbag for a bit in this episode, and I've constantly back and forth not knowing if he's friend or foe. But the idea of him having to follow the law and have to break up the group, but also purposely wanting them to be able to go to the house first and then break up the group, so he has to look like he's following the law even though he has his own personal interest in helping this girl. He's proud of Keiichi, but he has to look like he's the law enforcement pushing away the illegal protesters. So to see all that happen and then to see how it ends, and I'm like, there's no hope. And the fact that we still have one core left, next year we're going to continue this show, where do you go from here? I don't know. I think what this show does so well is that it's so much more than a horror anime. And I think when people hear of the name Higurashi, I think people think it's a horror anime. But I've said it for a while, Higurashi is so much more than a simple horror thriller. The thing that makes this show so interesting is the character dilemmas and the drama that builds everything. You know something bad's gonna happen at the end of each arc, but then they give you stuff like this. She called for help. The thing that was fearful of her. She called for help, and despite it being the thing that wanted to kill her, she got the help she needed, and help ended in something even worse, where everyone seemingly died. The fact that you have these drama stories where even though the viewer logically knows things aren't probably going to be okay until the end, and even then, after what we've seen, there's no guarantee there will be a positive end when the anime ultimately concludes. That's what I love about this show. I still think that the Reina scene where she goes completely haywire on her boy is the most horrifying thing I can recall ever seeing in anime. It legit spooked me. This one shocked me with like a thriller angle, but the thing that makes me so interested in Higurashi is the build-up to get to these moments. Without all that build-up, the shocking moments would just feel like an edgy show that's trying to show a lot of blood, and they show a lot of blood. But to have the build-up of really feeling like this is a girl being abused and there's nothing we can do, everything keeps getting thrown at us, We're threatening to kill how many people just to protect our friend, and then you finally, after episodes of debating, sweating, fighting in the most non-violent fashion, you're thinking they're gonna get there, she's already gonna be dead. That has to be how it's gonna happen. She's fine. She calls her boy. Everything's fine. Okay. Is the uncle gonna escape? The uncle gonna die? What's gonna happen next? And they do something so much worse. He makes her watch as he beats her new big brother's head in. This show would be horrible if all it was flat, one-dimensional characters that had no personality, no depths, and no reason to get to these shocking moments. And that's why I think it's kind of like a disservice that a lot of times when people recommend or talk about Higurashi, they're talking about how horrifying it is. And while those definitely are a highlight of multiple arcs, the thing that people should be recommending with Higurashi is that this is a show that makes you so connected to its characters that you never want bad things to happen. But Higurashi teaches you that there's not many happy endings that are going to be around any corner. I think the beauty of this arc and why it's my personal favorite Higurashi arc to date, it's not the brutal ending, it's not the cliffhanger at the end of this episode. It's the fact that it made you buy into it. It made you grounded to not a supernatural story, it's not about who's getting cursed. It's about a little girl being abused and wanting to save her, and then we do save her, and there's still no way to do it. Making you feel crushed in sorrow, like why even continue? Why is there even a chance at a better tomorrow? This was the one and only chance. But in Higurashi fashion, they pull you back in for one more round. And each time it feels like it gets more painful. Definitely an emotionally draining episode, fantastic episode, but the development was completely on point. I've also heard some people say that this isn't the most popular arc in Higurashi. Some people say it's the most boring, but then I've seen other people claim that, a lot of fan bases in the Higurashi fan base, the little sub fan bases, say it's the best arc. It's kind of weird to me because I think this would be one of the most popular, even though it has the less shocking moments up until the end. I mean, there's definitely shocking moments throughout it, but it's not as graphic or gory or creepy throughout it. But I think by grounding it so much, I would think this would be the one that Higurashi fans would like the most, especially considering that Higurashi is all about the personality more so than the actual horror. But then again, that might just be a very vocal minority that are saying it's a bad arc. I personally haven't experienced that. I'm just going off of numerous comments saying that like a lot of people dislike this arc or something. No idea why. This arc's phenomenal in my opinion, but yeah, I hope a lot of people appreciate it because I don't think we're going to see something this mostly draining for a child abuse story in anime done so respectably with a supernatural twist probably ever again. I have no idea where we go from here. I have no idea how different it was from the previous arc. You can definitely let me know some changes down below. I'd be happy to read them. This was phenomenal. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next arc. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. Favorite moment and where do you think it might go next week? Please no spoilers. If you enjoyed the video, of course, leave a like, share your support, hit that subscribe button if you're happy new around here. And if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whatever you are celebrating. Sounds a bit weird to talk about in a Higurashi episode, but since it is December 24th, wanted to throw that out there. So until next time, take care, have a good one.